We've shown you the energy of NACA. We've taken you onto the expo floor. You've seen the opportunities. You understand why this matters. But before we close this out, there's one question that cuts through all the noise. One question that reveals what this career actually requires. If you could go back to your first day as an adjuster, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Every company I've ever worked for, except for the first time, I've gotten a referral from a friend of mine. My 4 friends, we got into this together. I just lucked up and found the first firm we worked for, and I got them on. And every single firm I've ever worked has been from word of mouth.
The adjusters who work consistently aren't necessarily the ones with the most licenses or the fanciest equipment. They're the ones who built relationships that outlasted any single deployment.
Getting in front of people's faces. I mean, I've been working almost 4 years now and haven't met one person. You know, I'm going up to booths and I'm expecting not to know anybody, and they're calling, "Hey, Steven," and they see my name tag. And if you think you're doing enough, you're probably not. I see it and hear it all the time. You know, I signed up for 4 firms, and I told them on my resume that I'm available anytime. And I tell them, listen, I tell my top firms where I am, and they forget. You got to email triple the amount of firms you think you need to do. You need to pound the pavement. If you want to work year round, you have to be the guy that, you know, oh, it's Steven. You'll see his emails every other week, you know, hustle.
Hustle is not optional in this business. It's the baseline, because when you're competing against hundreds or thousands of other adjusters for the same deployment, the one who stays visible is the one who gets the call, and that requires hustle.
You can't get your license, sit at home and go, all right, I'm waiting on that deployment phone call. It's never going to come. You have to put in the money, the time, the effort, the training, and everything else in order to even just get a crack at it.
There it is. The hard truth that separates the professionals from the people who quit after their first season. You are not an employee. You're not entitled to work. You're running a business, and like any business, you have to invest, you have to market yourself, and you have to prove your value every single day.
Ride-alongs are going to be huge. That's in my mind. I did some ride-alongs with some people just to kind of give me an idea of what it is. Don't think that as soon as you get the license, you're going to be automatically certified with what you're doing. Training and practice. I don't want to be just that simple adjuster. And if you do want to succeed in this world, in adjusting anyway, you have to set yourself apart from everybody else, and you got to try to be the best at what you're doing. So just practice.
Skills matter. Preparation matters, because when you're standing on that first roof with a homeowner who's watching you and waiting for answers, that's not the time to be figuring it out. That's the time to prove that you belong here.
Go out and find as much training as you can, whether it's from a firm, whether it's from a course like you have, or just anyone that's out there that can be able to help you learn a little bit. You take tidbits from here and from there, and then you should be able to form your own impression on how you're able to do that. That's it. If you don't go out and bet on yourself, and if you don't go and invest in yourself, you're not going to get anywhere.
I got my license, I think, in October, and I got a call to go to Florida. I was like, man, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I could show up there, but it's going to be a bad experience, you know? I kind of heard some of that from you, and I was like, man, I should just gain a little more knowledge. And then I got into I almost watched everything on Adjuster TV, just the subscription. Decided to pull the trigger on FTD. I tore through it in 7 days. Gave me way more confidence to actually show up and pretend like I know what I'm doing.
And that's a pretty common pattern that we keep hearing. Adjusters feeling lost, overwhelmed, and uncertain until they found a resource that connected the dots, that showed them what the work actually looks like, that gave them a framework to build on. Listen, licensing courses prepare you to take a test, but they don't prepare you to run claims. They don't show you how to talk to a distraught homeowner. They don't teach you how to organize your workflow when you're handling 30 files at the same time. That's where real training comes in. That's where community matters. That's where the gap between licensed and deployment ready gets bridged.
Everybody's friendly. Where I'm from, we're not really known for being friendly. So it's definitely a good place for everybody to come.
We're here. It doesn't mean that when the conference is over, it's over. Yeah. We're here for you. We want to be here for you. Here's my card. Call me if you have a question, or if there's something we can do, or if they can't get an interview, we take them where they can go specifically. And we like to do the follow-up with them and make sure that they know that. I think the most important thing really is that we're here. We're here for them. Yeah. This is about them. It's, by adjusters for adjusters. That's really what we're about.
And that's what keeps people in this industry. It's not just the money, though the money is real. It's the community and the camaraderie, the fact that you can walk into a room full of strangers who all understand what it's like to live out of a hotel for months, to work through exhaustion, and to help people on the worst day of their lives. Every adjuster at NACA started where you are now, uncertain, nervous, wondering if they had what it takes or if they should even be there. And here's what they've learned. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be willing to learn, willing to invest in yourself, willing to show up even when it's uncomfortable or even inconvenient. Start messy, because this is not a job. It's not a gig. It's a skilled trade that rewards persistence, preparation, and the courage to build something that's honestly entirely your own. The next chapter of NACA happens January 25th through 29th, 2026 in Durant, Oklahoma at the Choctaw Casino. New city, new faces, same opportunity. Will you be there? Will you be the one standing on that expo floor, resumes in hand, ready to prove that you belong? Because the path is clear, the opportunity is real, and the choice is yours. So we'll see you in Durant. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great storm.